It's great to have you here on the podcast, on the Legal Marketing Daily podcast. I'm very happy to have you here as a guest. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do for a living?
Really, with pleasure. Thank you very much for having me here. Really, in a nutshell, my name is Zohar Fisher. I'm an attorney. You can't avoid that. I'm the founder of a legal marketing company called Robus. It's a 22 employees company located here in Tel Aviv. We're considered the benchmark, if you will, to what's going on in the Israeli legal sector with regard to marketing activities, marketing, business development, and so forth. Our clients are Israeli law firms, Israeli accountancy firm, and international entities, law firms and accountancy firms operating or trying to operate here in Israel. We have a few departments, legal marketing, we have a legal tech department, mergers, and so forth. And I think one of the things which makes us unique is all the employees are either attorneys who left the profession or law students who will left the profession. So that's about us in a nutshell.
Okay. But do you have any like professional marketers, like I don't know, copywriters or IT developers or designers? Because you do all that stuff, and yet you have many attorneys on your team or law students on your team. So they're
All
all
of them are attorneys. Yeah, sorry.
So they're all on your team. You perform
They're
all this
all,
stuff. Yeah.
all of them are attorneys, well-qualified attorneys that lost their way in law. But they really want to stay connected and stay in tune with regard to the legal sector, and they find it amazing to work in the legal sector, but not doing the boring legal stuff, but the more exciting things, marketing, business development, and so forth.
So actually, that's the way you started, because as you said earlier, you studied copywriting and marketing, then you switched to law, and then here you are. After being for 12 years in the legal marketing sector, 8 years after setting up Robus, and
Yeah,
as you said, you're a leader in the Israeli legal marketing sector.
trying to be. Yes.
Okay. So, can you please tell us more about the specifics of the Israeli legal market? What types of law
Yeah,
firms are there? How many lawyers, and so on?
absolutely. Let me start by saying that Israel is holding a Guinness World Record with regard to the number of attorneys per capita. We are the leaders in the number of attorneys per citizens in the world. It's not just we are number one by far, meaning the second place, which is, if I remember correctly, yes, it's Greece, is uh, half of the number of attorneys per capita in the world with what we have. Israel has one attorney per around 130 attorneys. One attorney per 130
Oh,
citizens.
okay.
That's huge amount of attorneys. In the Tel Aviv area, in the heart of the financial district, we're speaking about one attorney per 75 citizens, which is unheard of. To top on that, each and every year we're getting 3,000 to 5,000 new attorneys, new licensed attorneys coming from the Israel Bar Association. And to top on that, we have foreign entities, foreign law firms who are struggling or trying to infiltrate into the Israeli sector because Israel is being considered a startup nation. Amazing amounts of startups, private equity, venture capital, a lot of technology and R&D centers. All of those foreign law firms, international law firms are trying to bring in. So it's all making the Israeli legal sphere bubbling with competition. And I was just interviewed about it in one of Israel's financial newspaper, and I didn't call it competition, I call it cannibalism, because we have so much competition that sometimes it's dog eat dog with regard to the legal sector. The number of the law firms is rather high. The number one law firm in Israel is 340 attorneys, which is large for a small country. Israel is a small country, 7 million citizens. Driving from coast to coast in Israel is between 2 hours to 4 and 5 hours. That's it. We're a very small country. So the largest law firm is 340 attorneys. Number two is 320 attorneys. And afterwards it's going down to around 200 and 100. The interesting thing is that if we're speaking about half a decade ago, not so long ago, 5 years ago, Israel's largest law firm was around 140 attorneys. The number of attorneys in the Israeli largest law firm tripled itself ever since, and we're speaking about half a decade, not more than that.
I mean, this is amazing. Some people, let's say in Poland or in other European countries, they complain that there are too many lawyers and there are too many people graduating every year. And as you said, there are 3,000 to 5,000 new qualified lawyers every single year. This is just mind-blowing, really.
Tell them to come to Israel to see what real competition is all about.
Okay, so we'll get to the competition in a moment. So I guess you have a lot of work to do. There must be competition for you because a team of 22 people can serve all these lawyers and legal marketing. But are there any regulations in terms of ethics and in terms of marketing activities that law firms can perform in Israel?
Israel regulations in the Israel Bar Association with regard to ethics their standards are very, very high. Historical reasons for that: Israel is a rather young country, established in 1948, was ruled under the British mandate, the UK mandate, and all the laws and rules and regulation derive from the UK Bar into the Israel Bar Association. And it took time for the Israel Bar Association to understand that times has changed, that the competition is unbelievable, and the Israel Bar Association ethics regulation need to change. I'll give you an example. An Israeli attorney wasn't allowed to advertise on Facebook or on Google up until a few years ago. I'm not saying that they haven't done that, they did, but it wasn't ethical to do that. So it's an atmosphere that the legal environment, the legal sector went to the Israel Bar Association and told them, listen, we have to change things. And I was part of the committee which was sitting on the regulation of the ethics of the Israel Bar Association. And it was a very large reform, formal one. It was announced 2 or 3 months ago, stating that first of all, the committee said, we understand that times has changed. We understand that the legal sector as it was is not what's going on today. And we understand that due to the very harsh competition, we need to give the attorneys tools to actually make changes and amendments and to actually compete with each other. So currently, still obeying to the legal terms of the dignity of the profession, how an attorney should look like, how an attorney should speak, how an attorney should avoid certain, let's call it, phrases, or should avoid certain behaviors. But really, in a nutshell, currently Israeli law firms and attorneys are allowed to post and advertise on social media, on financial newspapers, on blogs, on municipal areas in their usual newspapers, small newspapers, neighborhood neighbors, and newspapers and so forth. But as an example, law firms and attorneys are still prohibited from doing telemarketing. They are still prohibited from delivering brochures. They are still prohibited from putting designated advertisements on television. So the Israel Bar Association understood what's changed, but still kept a certain amount of dignity, or let's call it the credo of the profession.
Okay, but this is really very interesting and it's really nice to hear that this reform came into power like 2 or 3 months ago. But I wanted to ask if there's anything you can do or the other way around. It seems like you're allowed to do more on the internet, but you're not very, it's not very open in terms of, as you said, telemarketing or large-scale marketing as billboards or posters in the city. And do you think lawyers like this change? Or was it, as you said, that they were actually doing this all the time, but they just needed the regulations to sleep well?
The saying in Israel is you have two kinds of attorney. You have the ones who don't have money to eat, and they're the ones who don't have the time to eat. So, with regard to your question, the large, more successful law firms are really into stopping all the publication, advertising, marketing, putting it on hold, and make the competition do itself. But the more, not necessarily the younger, the less successful, currently less successful attorneys are really into breaking all boundaries and make them publish whenever and wherever they can. I give you an example. There was a transportation attorney dealing with car accidents, drinking under influence, and so forth. And he submitted a question to the Israel Bar Association saying, am I allowed to put my law firm's banner and advertisement on the bottom side in swimming pools, in the umbrellas in the Mediterranean Sea on the beach line? And he wanted to write, if you're drinking, enjoy, but if you're drinking and then driving and getting caught, call me. And it's a very creative, I admit, it's a
very creative, have to admit.
way of advertising lawyer services. But the Israel Bar Association told him, they actually told him it's very creative, but they told him, listen, not in our watch. It's too out of the, once again, they're trying to keep and preserve the dignity of the profession. Because you have so many attorneys, you need to have some kind of binding rules to that.
Okay, it was really impressive. I mean, very creative type of legal marketing, I have to say. Not many companies out of legal sector would use this, so probably they will get this idea from you now. But can you tell us more about the more standard ways of marketing that Israeli law firms are actually using, or you advise to your clients that they should do for sure, like the basics that you advise them?
Well, you know the basic thing, brochure, newsletters, social media, and so forth. Currently, the Israeli law firms are really into expanding their presence on social media. If 2-3 years ago you saw law firms designated websites, sorry, not websites, business pages on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and starting to grow on Twitter. Now you see more and more professional pages on social media for interns, for example, for alumni, for example, for specific niches on social media. Israel is one of the most connected countries with regard to social media. The Israelis are number 2 in the world in using social media, especially Facebook and Instagram. LinkedIn is very common, but more in a very specific practice field. Twitter more used by very limited number of attorneys, I'm including, and mostly media. So you see more and more Israeli law firms putting a lot of emphasis and budgets in Facebook and LinkedIn, especially Facebook, and investing a lot in that, meaning paying a lot to designers, doing designated videos, very interesting, sometimes funny, sometimes emotional videos. Sometimes it's like a commercial, it's like a TV commercial just being put on Facebook. High standards of production, high standards of filming, high standards of design. So let's say that's one of the main elements. In addition, we're speaking about websites. Now, websites, what the Israeli law firms are trying to do.
We'll get to websites in a moment. I just want to stay with this, social media. First of all, I'd love it if you can give us some kind of example of this high quality movies. We'll attach this to our podcast notes. Don't do it now, we'll do it later, but it would be really, really interesting. And as you said, law firms and lawyers as individuals, they tend to use social media more and more. But can you see any pattern in terms of getting in contact or being friends on Facebook with your clients? I mean, should lawyers or do lawyers in Israel connect with their clients on social media?
The answer is yes, with a capital yes. Facebook and social media are considered the assistant to the decision makers. Meaning, and we're saying it every time in meetings, there are a certain percentage of attorneys thinking, hey, I'm advertising, I'm posting on Facebook. I guess my clients, potential clients, are going to come through Facebook to me, knock on the door, and say, hi, I'm here. It's not working. But Facebook, as everybody knows, is getting Facebook and other social media platforms is getting more and more involved with regard to making a decision, a wise decision for choosing your law firm. Because if I'm having some kind of difficulty and I need an attorney, usually, not usually, most of the matters, I'm calling one of my friends, my colleagues, saying, listen, I need an attorney for dispute resolution, for real estate, whatever, and I'm getting a name. I'm getting the name of a law firm. I'm getting a name of an attorney. These days, especially in Israel, the name of the attorney is being searched on Google, and people are going to the website. We can speak about the website afterwards, but a website is just the first turf. Quickly, very quickly, they are moving from the website to Facebook and LinkedIn. They want to see what the attorney really speaks about, what the attorney really looks like, how many followers does this law firm has on Facebook. If it's a well-known law firm, how come they have only 57 followers on Facebook? If it's a well-known law firm, how come this law firm doesn't have an active page on Facebook? How come the last time they posted was 4.5 months ago? So those are things people are looking at. And some of the attorneys think it's not really for the large transactions. It's more from the housewife which needs to get a divorce, or the person who needs to hire a student and have some kind of a labor law agreement. No, it's going across the board. Sometimes it's more on LinkedIn, but it's across the board. Even when a general counsel, an in-house counsel, needs to find an attorney, needs to find a law firm, he will go on the website, but surely and quickly, he will go to check them on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Okay, that's very interesting, because what I've observed in different countries is that there's a very clear division between personal law firms that are really present on Facebook, sometimes on Twitter, sometimes on Instagram even, and but business law firms, they go to LinkedIn as their primary social media platform. But so I just wanted to ask if I got it right, do business law firms in Israel care more or at the same level about their Facebook accounts as they do about their LinkedIn activity?
Both,
Okay.
but it depends. As I said earlier, there are a number of ongoing number of law firms who are operating multiple pages on Facebook and on LinkedIn. So if you're looking for a law firm on Facebook, you're going to find their seminars, their conferences, their recent trip to London, the recent tour here in Israel, and a few happy, joy pages and pictures. In addition, you're going to find a summary of transactions, cases, and so forth. On LinkedIn, you're going to find more mature content designated, speaking about transactions, dispute resolution cases, exits, pictures of partners all around the world. But there is a very holistic approach that if someone is looking for the law firm on Facebook and on LinkedIn, he's going to find something which will be very appealing to him. And that's why Israeli law firms and actually international law firms trying to operate in Israel are investing a lot of funds into social media. You see, I'm not debating about that. You see, there is a lot of competition on legal marketing with regard to legal guides. There are a few Israeli legal guides. There are the international ones, Legal 500, Chambers, IFLR. The law firms are in dramatic competition in putting yourself in a higher tier in the different legal guides. And if that thing happened, and even if it doesn't, you're going to find it all across the social media. It seems that after Legal 500 is publishing their annual legal rankings, all of the Facebook, my feed, to be exact, my feed on Facebook and on LinkedIn is legal 500, legal 500, one after another, and it has an impact on clients, potential clients, and existing clients.
Okay, and do you work with international law firms trying to get to Israeli market?
Yeah, our company has an international department dealing
No.
precisely with those things.
And do you see any difference between their approach towards legal marketing that they got from their previous experiences in, let's say, I don't know, UK or France or Italy or United States, and when they're coming to you and they want to be visible on the Israel legal market, do you see any difference, or they're being surprised that you tell them to do different things that they were used to?
They're very surprised. I'll give you a short story. Without mentioning name, one of the largest law firms in the United States approached us 2.5, 3 years ago, wanting to do a conference in entering the states of Israel, and we gave them a price quote and everything, and they get back to us after 48 hours saying, thank you very much, but no. Now, I'm an Israeli. I'm not taking no as an answer. And I called them, let's discuss, let's debate. And they came back to us afterwards saying, listen, thank you very much for your offer, but we've done that they opened another branch in Southeast Asia a few years ago. We've done it in Southeast Asia. We know we will be able to do it in Israel. Thank you for your help. I said, listen, Israel is a changed legal climate. Please, if you're not using us, please use someone local. I said, thank you very much for your offer. As a token of gratitude, we're going to give you 3 free of charge tickets to the conference. I said, thank you very much. I closed the phone and I said, did they just say free of charge tickets? Meaning, do they think that they're going to do a conference here in Israel and they think that Israelis are going to pay? It's not a Madonna concert, it's not a Rihanna concert, it's boring M&A transactional attorneys coming on stage and speaking about mergers. So that was weird. They called us again half a year afterwards and they said, oh, you remember us? Yes, I remember you. They said, listen, we need help. I said, okay. They said, we have the conference in about 2 weeks' time. I asked them, is it like under the radar conference? Is it like a stealth mode conference? Because I don't know everything, but I should know about the large conference being performed in Israel. They said, yeah, that's what we are calling. They advertised the conference in a well-known Anglo-Saxon financial newspaper, being read in Israel by tourists, people who got stuck in elevators. Like, nobody is reading this paper, and because of social manners and US credo, they just put it over there. And they didn't post it online, they didn't post it on social media, they weren't aware to what's going on in the Israeli legal sphere. Bottom line is, they got in the hall designated for 500, 700 people, they got around 100 people, out of which half were students, law students, that came for free lunch. So that's in a nutshell what's going on. Currently, when we're assisting international law firms enter Israel, we say, listen, we understand that you're coming here to give a seminar about blockchain. We understand that you're coming here to speak about real estate in London and so forth. But it's Israel. It's a very, very competitive market. It's a very educated market. What you need to do is adjust yourself to what's going on. For example, we took a well-known UK law firm that done a real estate conference here. So it started at 6 in the evening. In 6 in the evening, there were like short saying hello and networking. At 6:30, there was a 20-minute lecture, standing up with glasses of wine in the hands, speaking about real estate in London, opportunities, risk, threats, and so forth. And from 6:30, 7 o'clock up until 9:30 in the evening, there were free cocktails, free alcohol, a lot of alcohol, and great food and music. So what we created is the right atmosphere for this foreign law firm, international UK law firm, and Israeli businessmen, lawyers, decision makers to really mingle. Because if someone is really wanting to know about what's going on in the UK with regard to real estate, he can open Google, he can find the right article to read. It's all about the personal connection,
So more
especially in
about
Israel.
networking than sharing knowledge in this
Absolutely.
case. Okay.
Absolutely.
I was really surprised when you said that when they wanted to charge the participants to come to the conference, you said that no one would pay for it. And this is really interesting.
Yeah.
I organize a big conference on my own, and we have a different model. But as you said, it's very local, so probably people just you have to tune to the local habits. Okay, going on to the next very important legal marketing activity. I mean, law firm websites. As Robust, you design, you develop the website. And can you tell me how do you conduct the process? Because it differs from country to country, from company to company. But when a, let's say, 50 lawyers law firm, small, medium law firm approaches you, how do you work with them on their new website?
It's a very good question. Well, each law firm has a story. Each law firm has a motive. Each law firm has this one thing. Sometimes it's a huge, sometimes it's very small, but its uniqueness, the thing which separates it from its competitors, from their rivals or colleagues. What we're trying to do is identify this small or medium or large thing and then make it the core for the website, for the values of the firm. The trends in the websites are, I think, global trends, meaning more and more law firms' websites have a minimal aspect, less colors, more on a gray scale, black and white scale, dark blue scale, all trying to look like very sophisticated, almost high-techy look like, using large pictures, but well-chosen pictures. And here the motive starts, because you would never, or almost never, find law firms in Israel with pictures of a hammer, the legal hammer on the bench, or the scales of justice, or like shaking hands of two attorneys. You won't find that. You're going to find sophisticated pictures who are trying to make you think even for another half of a second, but really think, that's weird, or that's an interesting picture. As an example, there is a certain law firm that chose to take pictures in weird locations, meaning not like I'm sitting wearing a suit in my firm, but outside in the nature. One law firm took pictures of its partners, two pictures. One was the elegant, regular of suit and tie in the office, sitting behind the desk. And if you're flipping the mouse on top of the picture converts itself to the same attorney with the same tie and shirt on the beach with no shoes. So, and smiling. So what it creates, you see the attorney, and you know, if you close your eyes, you know how the attorney is going to look like. Glasses, suit and tie, boring, sitting behind the desk. But if you're flipping the mouse and you see, hey, he's smiling, he's on the beach, he's on the shoreline, I like this guy. And then it intrigues you. Let me go with the mouse on all the other partners and see what's going on over there. It's like a game you're playing with your potential visitor in the website, and it works. You see it on Google Analytics. You see more and more people spending time on the designated pages when we want them to be. So the pictures are crucial, and we're trying to use less and less text, trying to be not politically correct, as Israelis should be. People are not reading that. So our clients were saying, let's put a profile in 500 words and speaking about all the history of the law firm since it was established 45 years ago. Nobody cares. Sorry, like close relatives or family do care.
And actually Google cares. I mean
I agree.
the Google
Perfect.
bots cares.
I agree. That's why we have a history page or a more hidden page which includes everything, the history and everything from A to Z. But I want the potential visitor, when he enters, to have like 2 paragraphs of text explaining to him why he reached to the best law firm for this specific practice field. And if he understands that in combination with the picture, I'm happy. We see more and more Israeli law firms translating the website. Israel is using Hebrew/English websites for law firms for more than a decade. It's not even a trend, it's like a must. You have to have an English-based website. Currently, in the last 2-3 years, we see more and more law firms translating the websites as a mirror website, meaning one-to-one. Everything exists in Chinese, in Mandarin, in Russian, in French, and so forth, meaning aiming to the international arena, because the world is becoming one global thing, and more international law firms, French-based, Germany-based, Italian-based law firms are infiltrating here, entering here, and they want to speak the language.
Okay, that's interesting. But getting back to the process, so they approach you, you try to squeeze this core message out of their history, out of their experiences, and then the next step is actually design, or is there anything in between this core message?
The next step is usually a slogan. We're trying to put a short one-liner slogan for the firm. The slogan, the whole motive of the slogan is like Nike, just do it, or Coca-Cola, enjoy life. So a law firm's slogan shouldn't be enjoy life, but we're trying to bring a slogan which is going to make the visitor, the user, understand instantly what this law firm is all about. So there are a lot of examples. One of the examples is one of my favorites. It's a law firm of 8-10 attorneys, high top tier law firm that dealing with 2 specific practice fields, and they're keeping all the time to be a small top quality boutique. And the slogan chosen for them is "Will never be too large for you." And it's a slogan, if you're reading it, you understand, I understand what they mean. I want to be with them. So usually a slogan. After the slogan, we're going back to the office, doing like a very, very basic sketch of what we visualize, what we think should be in the website, speaking just about the homepage, and putting in 2 or 3 colors which we think is a good fit for the law firm, and bringing it to the executive board. Usually they say no. No, I'm kidding. Usually they say that's interesting. We're trying to find the right thing, and that's why we always insist that in the panel in charge of speaking to us and making the decisions, we're gonna have a large crowd of top senior partners, usually the managing partner or the chairman, a few of the mid-level partners, head of departments, and 2-3 young partners who were just nominated as partners because they understand what this generation needs, and because the decision makers, the general counsels, the directors, and so forth, are usually in those ages, 35, 45.
All right. And do you make any distinction between, let's say, personal injury law firms or larger business law firms in terms of the whole idea behind the website? I mean, should they generate more leads, or become just their beautifully crafted business card on the internet? Do you make this distinction?
Absolutely. We're trying, if it's a small law firm, a boutique law firm dealing with torts law, damages, transportation, whatever, it's a funnel. Basically, those law firms are funnels who are trying to take the visitor and make him very, very quickly to someone who is leaving his details or making a phone call. We're letting the user of the website do whatever we can to start communicating engagement with the law firm, explaining him in your face For example, we have a tort law firm we're assisting. So when you enter the firm, you see the legal guides rankings. You understand it's a well-known law firm. Following, you see a few numbers, number of cases being handled, the amount of money counting, like a counter, the amount of money being given back to the clients, and so forth. So you make the visitor understand, I understand this website, I understand the law firm, I understand what it does, I want contact with them. If it's a larger law firms that have a variety of practice field, a variety of issues, a variety of senior partners, it's not a funnel. It's a more general law firm, general website that's being distinguished by color, by pictures, by unique text, and we're trying to make a stand on it because when we are choosing the picture, the logo, the slogan, the relevant colors in the website, it's going all across the board. It's going to Facebook, it's going to LinkedIn, it's going to the brochures, and we're trying, sometimes it's hard, but we're trying to make the partners understand that when we're choosing a specific way of offer, it's across the board. You can't do anything without using those specific rules for the law firm.
Thank you. And to wrap it up, I'd like to ask you about the advice for our listeners. Can you name 5 marketing activities that a lawyer or a law firm should undertake when they start a business or they want to develop their business? Just 5 tips for our listeners.
Not necessarily by importance, but let's try. Social media, we discussed enough. I think that if you're not on social media, if you're not using social media, you're not realizing where this world is going to. Unless you're under the radar international taxation boutique, you have to be on social media. You, the attorney, choosing how much to reveal. If you're speaking about whatever you do, if you're putting your pictures, if you're not putting your pictures, but you have to be there. The visitors are studying not just the website, but social platforms as well. Engagement. Engagement is really sharing information, among others, really sharing information with potential clients. Meaning, if you're an IP firm, you're an IP attorney, and you just establish your practice, don't keep all the secrets close to your chest because it's not a secret. How to register a patent is not a secret. There are 1,000 other attorneys who know how to do that. Write a manual of how to register a patent in Israel. Am I giving away my secrets? No, you're not. You're just bringing your potential clients with access to knowledge, and nobody's going to register a patent without an attorney. And if someone is Google registered a patent and getting to your website because of SEO, because of search engine optimization, and he sees what you write and he sees your picture and he say, hey, he just gave me free of charge things. He looks like a good guy. I want to hire his services. Not because he gave me the information free of charge, because he looks like someone who really understands what he does. Going to newsletters. Newsletters, sometimes I'm hearing the phrase, newsletters are dead. Nobody opens them. Well, there's some truth in that. I give you that. But it's all about big numbers. It's all about big numbers. If you're a fresh attorney to just open his own shop, what you should do is, according to the laws of a specific country, but gather all the emails you've got. Potential clients, friends, colleagues, ex-girlfriends, family, whatever emails you can put your hands on, and send a newsletter. A newsletter should necessarily be about amendments to the law and guide how to do, how not to do. It shouldn't be boring. It should be yourself. You should serve yourself on a plate saying, hi, here's a short paragraph stating, welcome to my newsletter. Here's a link to my new website, come and visit. Here's a very, very short article elaborating about something I read in a newspaper, and I think it's forbidden. Why? Because I think that. And here is a link to my social media, And in the end, I'll be more than happy to sit down for a cup of coffee with you. You're sending it to 500 people. Out of the 500, 450 people are going to delete it instantly. But 50 people are indeed going to open that. And 20 of those are going to write good luck, bon voyage. 20 people are going to say, yeah, good luck, and maybe refer to a friend. And the other 10 people are going to say, I just need that kind of IP attorney. Or I have a friend who's just considering doing something. I'm going to recommend him to a friend. If I'm doing all that, and it's not a lot of effort to do a newsletter, and I'm sending it to 500 people, and I'm getting one client back, I did my share. I really did my share. And maybe the last thing is about media, but newspapers, academia, and so forth. Let's call it conferences and seminars. A lot of fresh out-of-school attorneys or young attorneys who are opening their own shop are saying, I can't give lectures, I'm not educated enough, I can't go to seminars, nobody's going to invite me. I agree. Nobody is going to invite them to seminars or lectures to be on the stage. But what prohibits you from being in the audience? What prohibits you from sitting down, study, learn what's going on? And the most important thing, go hunting. We're calling it hunting in our firm. Go hunting in the networking. And networking is either you're being born with that or not, and if not, you can study that. But you see more and more young attorneys coming to hunt. And they're not going to the silver hair general counsels, they're going to the ones who seem accessible. And when they're coming, they're not saying, hi, I'm a new IP attorney, would you like to use my services? They're speaking about sports, they're speaking about politics, they're speaking about everything. And a second before they're going away, they say, hey, I'm an IP attorney, I didn't tell you, I'm an IP attorney, and very nice to meet you. And this, right before ending of the conversation, the people on the other side said, that's a good guy. I just had a pleasant conversation with him. I'm going to take his card and maybe I'm going to use it. Maybe and maybe not. But it's aiming, it's trying. And there are a lot of young attorneys sitting at home, posting a lot of Facebook, advertising on Facebook, and hoping that some client is going to reach their premises. Sometimes it happens. Usually it doesn't.
Okay, thank you very much, Zohar, for sharing all the insights and very interesting information about legal market and legal marketing in Israel. I wish you all the best with Robus and with your conference because it seems very, very big. So just to end, just tell us where our audience can find you and information about your company, your services, and the conference.
First of all, thank you very much for having me here. I've approached and looked on the podcast from time to time. It's fascinating to see different ideas from around the world, all evolving through the legal sector. So it's fascinating to watch, and thank you very much for having me here. I think it's a well-deserved idea.
It was a pleasure.
I can be found on Robus website. You're gonna see all the different departments, all the variety of services. And for international law firms or those international viewers looking at us currently, we are assisting them in trying to enter Israel, the Start Nation. And I don't know if I mentioned earlier, we just have on February, we had our annual Foreign Law Firms Conference with 500 people coming from around the world. So I think it's a country law firms and accountancy firm should really look into.
Okay. Thank you very much once again and have a great day.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.